Hi everyone, this is basically a getting started with Gregtech video. People that are new to my channel may not know who I am. I am Bear989 Senior. I play on the Thailandcraft server. I have playthrough that I do a lot of explaining this stuff, but I'm going to start making these like little one-off videos, and this is going to be basically a getting started making your first bronze tutorial. First thing you want is hardened clay. Whether you go to a mesa or you cook up regular clay blocks, you need to get some hardened clay. You will need 7 of them, and you will need a chisel. First one you'll be able to make is a flint one, made the way I just made it there. And you will need a hammer. First one of those you'll be able to make is with 6 pieces of cooked or raw stone and a stick, and you will make your crucible, which will be done like so. This is your ceramic crucible. Now, the other thing that you will need is a burning box. There are many different ones, but the first one you will start off with will probably be the lead one. Lead is pretty easy to obtain through small ores out in the world. You can do bismuth, which you will need bricks. So just smelt up clay balls into bricks and put them together and make bricks. You will need lead plates, which you will have to cook up lead into ingots and then use a hold on. There's, depending on if you have the IC2 things installed or not, depends on if you're going to have the ability to make the IC2 hammer. If you're doing it without those things, you're going to make it with the Gregtech hammer, which will be, I'm trying to find it here. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, that's right. I forgot. Sorry. Greg changed the way it's done in this one. You actually make a double ingot. So you take 2 ingots and a hammer. That'll make a double ingot. And then you hammer the double ingot into a plate. And that'll be how you get your 4 plates. And then you will also need the double copper ingot, which is made the same way, which is 2 copper. You make your copper plate, and then you put the 2 copper plates together, and it makes a double copper plate. Copper, lead, tin can be cooked in a regular vanilla furnace, so you can just find those things out in the world and throw them in there to make these recipes. You will also need a wrench, which in Gregtech 6 needs a plates to make rather than ingots. Daggone it. I hit the wrong button. Come on, give me the regular. There we go. Switch it back over. There we go. Oh, and then it switches back. It'd be easier to do it this way. This is your wrench recipe. Use your hammer and plates. You're going to have to make quite a few of those stone hammers. They only do like 4 things before they break. They're only meant to get you through this initial part until you can make bronze and make your first bronze tools, or iron, or whatever you choose to make. Typically I will make a lead wrench or something along that line, usually lead for my first one. You will place your burning box. It needs to have at least the front block open to the air for you to be able to interact with it. There is no GUI. Right clicking on it will do nothing when there's nothing in it. The next thing you're going to want is a mold, which the ceramic mold is made just like the crucible, except it uses 5 clay, hardened clay, rather than 7. You will want to put this right next to your crucible when you make it. So you put your crucible on top like that, and you want to place this right next to it. When you first get it, it will look similar to this, but it will be a little higher. This is a plate ceramic mold that has had everything chiseled out of it. Basically, you just go through and you go like this, right clicking on each little square, and you chisel out your design. Now, this is the Crucible book. You can either cheat this in creative, or you can find it in dungeons as dungeon loot. It will explain how to make, how things work. The main thing you're going to want it for is this part right here. This is the different molds that you can make. X's is what you take out. Circles is what you leave in. So if you're needing a bronze ingot for something, you basically take out 3 rows, 3 columns, leaving 2 there. If you need plates, you take out everything. And you have bolts, rods, long rods, item casings, rings, gears, small gears, all your tools, swords, pickaxe, shovel, universal spade, axe, saw, hammer, file, screwdriver, chisel, arrows, hoe, scythe, plow. If you need to come back to the video and pause at one of those, I tried to go through them slow enough for you. If you mess up and you misclick, try to find another design, like do your plate one last. That way if you mess up like making the ingot one, you can just plow it all out, chisel it all out, and you got a plate mold. Or however many of those little squares you take out of there is how many nuggets it's worth. See, this is a nugget mold because it has no exact design, and it has 1 spot notched out of it. So if I needed to make nuggets, this would make them one at a time. If I wanted to make 3 nuggets at a time, I could make one and just put 3 holes in it, and it would drop out 3 nuggets at a time. So that's another option if you make a mistake. Clay's not hard to find. You know, everybody knows you can find it pretty easy in rivers and oceans. So don't worry if you make a mistake. You can always, you know, break it, throw it in a crucible, turn it into scrap, and eventually break it down into clay dust, and hopefully be able to use that eventually for something else. And it's clay. It's, you know, eventually going to be renewable. It's found everywhere, so don't really get disheartened if you lose one. These black ones are more advanced ones. These are made out of metal. This is the next level that you're going to go to. This is an ingot mold. I don't have a clay plate mold left, so that's why I use that one. But to do this, you're going to throw 3 pieces of copper. Now, there are different types of ore you can throw in here. You never want to throw an ore block. Like, let me run around here real quick. You never want to throw one of these in there. You always at least want to place this in the world, or when you're mining. Oh crap, that one's gravel. We'll do this one. Place it, take your hammer, and break it. And that will give you your crushed. Now, if you have the IC2 machines installed, eventually you can make a macerator. Or if you have Railcraft, you can make a rock crusher. So you'll be able to double up your ores and get 2 for 1 like you're used to. But for right now, that's the way you're going to do it. Now, eventually you'll be able to hand wash these, where you will use a crucible or a cauldron and water, and you will drop this in like this, and you will get a purified and a chance of a byproduct. Now, this, as you can see, contains 1.222 units of. Now, if this was copper, that would mean it contains 1 ingot's worth plus about 2 nuggets. So if you would throw a copper one of these in here, you would end up with a little bit of extra copper. So you either want to smelt the copper down in a furnace or in here. I do all my metal cooking in here before making bronze, and then throw the bronze ingots in. Now, if you have the dust before it gets washed, like this one, you can throw it in the water just like you did the crushed and take the impurity out of it. I usually have some in there, and I don't now. And you'll get a byproduct off of it. So you always want to wash them to try to get your byproduct. Be careful with copper. Copper will give you cobalt 60, which, as you can see, has radioactivity 2 on it. It will kill you. So be very careful when doing anything copper, washing it by hand. Either be somewhere where if you die it's not a big deal, or fill your inventory with, you know, take stone and just fill your inventory so you can't pick it up. You know, just take like this and just go like this. That way you cannot pick it up. Let it drop on the ground. Eventually you're going to want to make a hazmat suit. That's the best way to protect yourself from getting the radioactivity. Depending on what update you're in, you may have an issue with getting the copper or getting the rubber. There has been a change in one of the last few updates where to make, daggone it, give me a bar, the rubber bar, you have to smelt it into nuggets from chips, and the only way to get the chips is to use an extractor. You cannot cook sticky resin in a furnace. And so right now it's kind of broken because you can't make an extractor without rubber. Backdate to, say, update 40, I think, should do it. Start your world there, get the rubber you need, get it smelted, and then update to whatever current update you're wanting to use. When there's an update that fixes that, I will definitely let you guys know. But I'm putting copper dust in here, so this is 3 ingots worth, and I'm putting 1 tin. Now, you do not have a thermometer, this lovely little thing right here. This is going to be one of the first things when you get iron and steel you're going to want to make, because it gives you your temperature of what's in there. But at this point, you're not going to have one of these. There's multiple different ways of working around this. The way I found that works best is to make your bronze in small amounts. Put 1 or 2 coal or charcoal, coal dust, coal coke. I wouldn't use coal coke at this point. You can use logs, you can use sticks, you can use planks. Any of those will work in there. Flint and tinder is needed to start it. They are a little bit of a pain in the beginning to make, because you have to have an iron nugget, or if you're using Thaumcraft, you can use Thaumium nugget. If you have a mod where you can get Nether Quartz early, you can use it, or you have to find a quartzite vein and get either Certus quartz, regular quartz, or what I actually did was find a chipped jasper, which you can get out of a jasper small ore. The way to get the iron nugget is to find a zombie, get a rare drop off of him, and get an iron ingot, and then make that into your nugget. Now, when this is hot, this crucible will burn you. It will kill you. So you do not want to touch it. That's why I have this nice little platform set up here, is so I can come up here and look in and see what my stuff is doing. Now you notice the tin has not been thrown in yet. I don't throw my tin in until I get to the point where the copper is melted. Tin takes less, let's see if I can do this right here. Tin takes less to warm up because it is a lower melting material than copper does. So I melt my copper first and then add my tin. Now this is the 3rd piece of coal that I've added, coal dust, in case anybody's keeping count. All the burning boxes have different efficiencies on them. They also put out different amounts of heat, so you want to research that. If you notice, I just got 2 small piles of dark ash. This is the reason why you want to use coal. because you'll get dark ash rather than regular ash. Regular ash comes from wood and charcoal, things like that. Can be useful for other things, but we're going to need it for iron processing in a later video. Okay, we have our copper. So now we're going to throw our tin in, and now we have bronze. Now, if you pull that out while this is still burning, this is going to heat up quicker. You may lose your crucible. So you may wait until it stops so it gets a little extra hot, and then just right click and that'll pour it. Do not step on this or touch this for at least 5 seconds. It will burn you. There's a slight chance you'll still get burned when you pick it up, but it shouldn't be enough to kill you. And then you pop out your next one, let it cool. Now, if you have the hazmat suit, you can pop these right out, won't burn you. See, that's that fire tick I was telling you about. Now, you'll notice that has burned up, or not burned up, it's solidified back because the temperature has gotten too low. What I typically will do at that point is throw something. I guess I don't have any with me. I will throw something like this lignite coal, or a wood plank, or a log, a plank, a few sticks, something like that in there that will burn up faster. But that's basically how you get your first bronze. I hope this helped. If you're interested in watching me and Junior mess around building these things and other things in our world that we've built, subscribe, check out the rest of the videos. This is a new channel. I don't take much out that I mess up, so there's a few mistakes in some of the earlier videos. They're a little rough, but after about the 14th, I think, was the last one we had any major mess ups. Everything's pretty smooth. We've worked all that out. Some videos are short, some videos are long. These I'm going to try to keep to somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes. So if you like the video, please give it a like, share it, add it to your favorites, whatever you'd like to do, whatever you think would to help my channel. If you liked it. If you didn't like it, then I'm sorry you didn't. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you didn't like. Let me know what you thought I didn't say enough of, or what I spent too much time on. Any criticism, as long as it's constructive, will be gladly accepted. So, from the server here, I'd like to say, have a nice day, and take it easy.